Okay, it is day 486 off the grid and it's Samhain, and here we are up at the Mangahao Village. Cars over there in the darkness which you can't even see, and we're standing in the little shelter at the tennis courts which you're looking at, which you can't see. But if I turn around, look, there's light, brought to you by the courtesy of LEDs, Flax and Stormhammer. Yes, we're using Stormhammer's Wii inverter here now to power the light, of course. In fact, this is what it gets most of its use for, when it's actually powering something, but we always have it with us to make sure that we don't run out of power on the computer. Anyway, so what do we got here? We've got some very unusual instrumentation, no Ibanez bass, no Fender metal strat or anything like that. We've got what looks like a toy guitar and a tablet. Oh yes, well, what does a tablet do? How do you make that go? Baffy, you'll have to come and stroke that. This is what Baffy was playing. There we go, it's got a boom there. You got there, look at that, it's a keyboard. So Baffy did some keyboards on there, which was pretty cool. And I did some, well, it's not really guitar, it's kind of like this thing. Look at this. Each of these are notes, and if you strum, it does a sort of a bend on that angle, which it doesn't normally do when I'm playing it, but you get the idea. That's a pretty cool instrument. Now, this is called a power tour guitar, but you might know it as a satanic mandolin, because that's what I refer to it as, because it's about the size of a mandolin, and it is, after all, satanic, because Angus Young plays a Gibson SG and he is possessed by Satan, so it's a satanic mandolin. I mean, why else would he go on stage in a schoolboy's uniform? I mean, if he wasn't possessed by Satan, you know? So that was our instrumentation for today. Of course, the E is what you'd expect, the usual suspect there, running Audacity and Digitech sound card as usual. But look, I got the Power Tour amp. The Power Tour amp. Now, this is the amp I always use for rehearsals when I'm playing whatever guitar, whether it's my full-size 6-string pentatune, whatever. This is the amp I actually use for my practice amp. And it runs off batteries even when I'm practicing at home. Quite handy for off the grid, I guess. But today we decided to bring it out and use it here because we weren't necessarily going to come to Mangahao. We wanted to go actually to that river place, sort of woodland that I showed on the anniversary of Born Day video that I did. But the weather was pissing down today, and yeah, it did stop raining by the time we got our shit together, but everything would have been wet and stuff. But so we wanted a really small setup that we could pack into a couple of backpacks and stuff, and this is basically the nucleus of it, you know. So that explains that, really. I think I've pretty much covered the whole entire thing, really, haven't I? Yeah. Oh, the purple cord. Oh yes, this is a brand new jack to jack lead that I bought from Dick Smith in the dying days of Dick Smith Electronics, actually from the Dick Smith in Palmerston North. Thought I'd break that out. It was just the right length. So I'm just going out the headphone socket of the sound card straight into the input. I'm actually using the guitar input here rather than the, it's got like a line in, you can put an iPod or CD or whatever into, but if you use the guitar and then you get access to the tone control and the volume control, which is kind of important, because if you don't roll off the tops, this thing gets a little bit in your ear. So I guess that's it, really. I've done the inverter, I've done the instruments, I've done the computers. Oh, Cooper's extra stout, you know. It's not the most top shelf stout you can get, certainly maybe not on the same level as that mower I had on my AOBD, but it's still a very nice stout at a very reasonable price, and of course it helps, you know, it helps, you know. Plastic cups, you know. There we go. Oh, an e-cig. I'm not going to do a selfie. I'm not going to do a selfie. Always worried about, well, actually I'm not even going to say what I'm worried about. I don't. Yeah. Oh, it was funny. Well, the keys to the BMW because Steve, the mechanic at the local garage, got the car fixed just in time for us to bring it up here. Otherwise, we would have probably booted the old Sleeker up here. But we got the Beamer back with a nice new warrant and new bearing in one of the wheels. So yeah, that's pretty much it, really. There's, you know, not really much to see. It's a little room. It looks like a, well, it's not really a changing room. It's a little place where people sit, watch people play tennis or wait for their turn, I guess. Here's the net. Proves it's a tennis court, at least. At one stage, of course, it had 230 volts AC here, but as you can see, the distro box was missing a lot of bits, and it's kind of seen better days. Yeah, so a really good place to come for the wet weather. It's really nice and quiet up here, and it's yeah, it's really quite cool actually. Wind just started blowing up now, which sort of makes me feel that we have really reached mid-autumn. You know, this is the Samhain. This is mid-autumn. You know, in another 6 weeks, it's going to be the winter solstice. Now that's going to be a special one, eh? I'd like some people that understand what I'm talking about there to acknowledge that, actually, to be honest, because you know what I'm saying, eh? When that moon's in the sky on that solstice, it's going to be rather special. Doesn't happen very often like that. So I think we'll leave it there on day 486 off the grid from Mangahao. So yeah, it's been a shit day, generator day, so we'll go home, crank up the Jenny, and then we'll see what else we're going to do tonight, because no boys, 3 days, yay. See you all later.